Matthew Berry, NBC Sports crew, on why Jerry Jeudy could find more success with the Browns.
I think if you're making the case for Jeudy, one, he's 24 years old and he was the 15th pick in the draft. All the physical attributes are still there.
It is crazy to think he's 24.
He's 24 years old. Now, he turns 25 in like 3 weeks, but still, he's 24 right now.
It feels like he's been around forever,
yes,
is the point.
And here have been his starting quarterbacks in the NFL. Drew Lock, Jeff Driscoll, Brett Rippon, Philip Lindsay, in the COVID game against the Saints.
Wide receiver Philip Lindsay,
Teddy Bridgewater.
No, it wasn't. It was Kendall Hilton.
Kendall Hilton, but they lined up with Lindsay so much in the Wildcat that he like statistically counts as the starting quarterback.
But yeah,
a skill player as a quarterback.
And then Russell Wilson, who never threw over the middle and seemed to have more of a connection with Cortland Sutton. I also think, one, Brown's amazing offensive line. There's going to be more time for Jeudy's routes to develop. I think probably just a better offensive ecosystem in general. And then two, the Browns, for whatever you think about them signing Deshaun Watson, they have been a very smart organization, very analytically driven.
Sure.
They make the right decisions typically in terms of unearthing plays. So they see
the coach
something
of the year.
in Jeudy. They have the two-time Coach of the Year, Kevin Stefanski.
Where were you?
People forget that.
Thanks. Yeah, people do forget it. People forget it often.
Yes. Some people even at this circular table forget it. So I don't know. I wouldn't give up on Jeudy just because he's 24 years old.
With that, let's welcome in G. Bush from 92.3 The Fan, the ultimate Cleveland sports show. G. Bush, when you hear the quarterbacks that Jerry Jeudy has played with, kind of leads you to believe there might be more there.
Listen, I love that because when I've heard all this stuff in the ecosystem about what Jerry Jeudy is or what he's not, from Mark Schlereth to a lot of the other guys that are really down on Jerry Jeudy, who are in the media in Denver, I never hear them bring this up. I never hear this list of quarterbacks who, he's been such a disaster. Well, listen, Sean Payton hasn't done much of anything, and he's been there a couple of years, and he was supposed to be the guru. Russell Wilson did not work out. Most of his passes Russell Wilson was throwing was quick throws to the outside, bubble screens to get Jerry Jeudy the football. And as they did point out, when you look at the numbers and you look at PFF, they were horrible when throwing the ball over the middle and getting the ball downfield to Jerry Jeudy. And you look at the name of the quarterbacks that were listed. I mean, really? Like we're talking about. We had a Jeff Driscoll sighting, or Drew Lock is the guy that he was the all pro that was getting them the football. So I just think a lot of times when you have a bad team, and we've been here before because we've had no quarterbacks in the past, and we know what we've been up against going 1-31 a couple years ago. When you have a bad team, and you're in the media, you just pick a couple people out and you could just make them the scapegoat, right? we go back a little bit. We take a look at all the guys that we had here that didn't pan out, and we could pick and choose from, Kellen Winslow to Braylon Edwards to Dwayne Bowe. We got the greatest hits going here, working of who didn't really work out. We drafted Trent Richardson. We can go on and on and on. So you can pick a guy and say, this is the reason it didn't work, or you could pick somebody and say this is, he didn't work out and this is why he was a bust and that there, so on and so forth. But if we're going to go on that analysis and we're going to say that Kevin Stefanski is a two-time coach of the year, and you're in the offense that look what it did with a backup quarterback in Joe Flacco, and you're getting your offensive line healthy, you got a great running back in Nick Chubb, and you got a really strong, solid number one pick who knows how to play the game the right way, and Amari Cooper is going to show him how to run routes, and you got this type of organization built up. You can take on some of these pieces. You can take on some guys who may have not been able to do it at a high level at other places and get them back here. And by the way, we kind of rehabilitated David Njoku. He was once disgruntled, once a guy that wanted out here, demanded a trade. They gave him a contract, and look what he's turned into. So, I think he's going to flourish with the Browns, and I think he has a new lease on life. He's going to play with a new sense of urgency when he gets his contract.
And a lot of people have made a lot of the extension that they signed Jerry Jeudy to. So let's take a look at the numbers. This is from NFL Stats. We've heard the quarterbacks that were throwing him the football. 2020, 52 catches, 856 yards, 3 touchdowns. 2021, 38 catches, 470 yards, no touchdowns. 2022, he did have over 1,000 yards, 67 catches, 1,012 yards, 6 touchdowns. Last year, 54 catches, 758 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Again, wasn't playing with elite quarterback play by any stretch of the imagination. You heard the names. But it's not like the guy was a complete bust. People in Denver, and again, he needs to play better. If he's going to be a number 2 receiver on a championship caliber team, he needs to play better. I'm not debating that. But he's had 1,000 yards before. He's had 11 touchdowns. Relative to where he was drafted, maybe he's been a disappointment. But he's got a new shot, and I don't know about you. I didn't think there was anything wrong with the contract. They're not paying him like a number 1. If he performs if he earns the high end of that with the incentives, they'll be thrilled to pay him the $57 million.
We'll listen. We'll clap it up. We'll shake his hand. We'll jump up and down. I think we need to really signify what is a bust and what is a guy who's underperforming. Right? You took him 15. That's middle of the first round. Right? He has given you a season where he has had 1,000 yards. Right? If you want to look at a bust, John Ross is a bust. Right. They take him for the first round for the Bengals, and he never plays. The kid, I think his name is Devin White, who got drafted a couple years ago by the Bears, ran a 4.2, 4.3 or whatever, never got on the field. Those guys are. Corey Coleman is a bust. Corey Coleman is a guy who never did anything. Those are the guys that never got any production, never came close to sniffing 1,000 yards, and couldn't get on the field. And when they got on the field, didn't do anything. Is Jerry Jeudy underperforming? Sure. But at the end of the day, if you look at him and you say, if he gives you next year, you look up and he says he's around 1,100 yards and 7 touchdowns, money well spent. Yeah. Because, 1,100 and 5, 6, 7 touchdowns is the going rate for a number 2 receiver. It's not a long term, and it's not like they gave him 6 years or something. And you got to take in consideration, and this is the thing that always got me. If you are going to say that Deshaun Watson and quarterbacks of that ilk, of quarterbacks that are top 5 franchise guys, make everybody around them better, then you expect him to be better. You expect him, because Deshaun will be better, that he will get those 1,000. Mari Cooper should be better. David Njoku should be good. Everybody should be better. So why not give Deshaun Watson an opportunity to make those guys better? Don't say Deshaun is a make or break year, but then get mad when you go get a receiver and upgrade your receiving core and say it's too much money. I don't get that.